What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Season 2 Reloaded for Modern Warfare 3 is here. And in today's video, I wanted to cover all of the most important additions and changes to multiplayer, not including weapon balancing. There was a fairly long list of weapon balancing, and with the level of detail that I aim for, I simply can't get that done by the end of today, so that one will have to wait until tomorrow. And therefore today we're just focusing on the miscellaneous changes and additions, and there were some really nice ones in here. And the first thing you probably noticed is we are playing on the new version of Das Haus, which is a remake from Vanguard. And yes, I am playing against bots in this gameplay. This is just so I can show off Das Haus really quickly, as well as the new gun and the Soul Render melee weapon. Which, by the way, when it comes to that SOA Subverter, which is a brand new battle rifle, it seems pretty solid. It actually looks like it's going to have the best time to kill in the battle rifle category, at least in full auto, which is excellent. And with that, I should have a full breakdown and gun guide out for that by this weekend. And then on top of that, you'll also see that I'm trying out the new melee weapon, the Soul Render, which I haven't fully figured out yet, but again, I'll do a full breakdown video covering that at some point in the near future. Now, let's start this off with some of the new features that they added with this update. And the first thing is for optics, muzzles, as well as underbarrels, they've added filters in the menu, so you can filter through and find the ones that you're looking for a little easier. This one is definitely welcome, especially on the optics, because there are so many optics to scroll through, and it can definitely get tedious scrolling through and trying to find that perfect optic that you're looking for. So this just makes it a little bit easier. So that right there is a very welcome change. Another change that I'm really happy to see, although it's a bit disappointing that it's coming this late in the game's life cycle, this is challenge tracking. They added a method of tracking up to 5 challenges at a time, and it appears these can be basically any kind of challenges. It can be a weekly challenge, it can be a camo challenge for your gun, but basically you just find wherever that challenge is, like in your camo menu for instance, and then you can click to track that challenge, and then when you boot up the game and you press start, your tracked challenges will show up on your screen, as well as your current progress toward that, which is excellent because sometimes you miss that pop-up in-game that tells you you completed a challenge, and then you continue working on that challenge, and you're basically just wasting time at that point. This is just an excellent way to keep track of that while you're actually in the game. And like I said, this would have been nice to see earlier on in the life cycle, like back before most people have done a lot of their camo grinding, for instance. But I am glad that it's at least here, and I hope this is the type of feature that will stick around permanently in Call of Duty, although we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Next, when it comes to maps, of course, we do have the maps that were advertised, Das Haus, Skid Grow, as well as Airborne. On top of this, they added Dome from Modern Warfare 2, so this is another carry-forward map that they've added into regular rotation. And then with Shipment, they brought back Shipmas, and that is now the permanent Shipment map. So the normal version of Shipment that we've been playing, that's gone. That's not in rotation anymore. It's now Shipmas, which it appears many people are happy to see since the lighting is just a little bit better. Even though it's still nighttime, it's definitely a brighter version of the map, and character models tend to pop a bit more. And this is actually something I just discussed in yesterday's video. I was talking about how I would love to see a daytime version of Shipment come instead of the nighttime version that we just played for the past year in Modern Warfare 2. Many people are saying they're making this change as a result of that video. I highly doubt they made that change after watching my video in just one day. It's most likely just a coincidence there. But in either case, this is nice to see. Next, let's talk about some actual gameplay related changes that aren't weapon balancing. The first thing is they fixed stun grenades, so they will once again slow your movement speed down, because since the launch of Season 2, that actually wasn't working properly, and if you got stunned, it would slow down your ability to turn your character, but it wouldn't slow down your movement speed at all. Now, it does properly slow down your movement speed, as it should, and on that note, we now know for sure that one of the benefits of the Ninja Vest is if you do get stunned, it won't slow your movement speed down. So it appears that that benefit from the Ninja Vest, they just accidentally applied to everybody at the launch of Season 2, whereas now you will only gain that benefit if you're using the Ninja Vest. Additionally, they gave a massive buff to one of the tacticals, and this is the EMD grenade. This is something you don't see used very often, or at least before this update, it wasn't used very often, and many people didn't even realize what it did. So this is what it looked like pre-patch. When you throw that and get a hit on an enemy player, it will track them, and you'll see kind of a little Doppler effect as they're moving around the map, and then every now and then it will also ping them as a diamond, as if a UAV would ping them. And that applies for you as well as your teammates. And it is worth noting, at any time that player can hold down a button like square on PlayStation, for instance, and it will remove that tracker, but there is a small animation that takes place, so it doesn't always last this long. But that's how it worked pre-patch, and not many people used it, like I said. Post-patch, they made this significantly more powerful. Now, if you get hit by one of these, it's going to be constantly pinging you as that red diamond for all enemy players until that tracker wears off or until you remove that tracker from yourself. And I consider this to be a very large buff to the EMD grenade because it's going to be a lot more visible, a lot more difficult to miss because that little Doppler effect that it had previously, that's pretty easy to miss in the heat of the moment. But a bright red diamond, that's going to stand out a whole lot more. So you may want to give these a shot now after this Season 2 Reloaded update. And then finally, for really important changes and fixes with this update, it appears they have fixed the A.C.S. Now, this is something where before Season 2, the A.C.S. had an interesting bug with it where verticality didn't matter, and that meant you could throw an A.C.S. down like way above or way below an enemy flag, like underneath the B flag on high rise, for instance, and it would cap that flag for you, which was unintended. And therefore, with the launch of Season 2, they removed that ability, but they took it too far, and I think they set that elevation to 0. And what that meant is if you threw an A.C.S. near a flag after the Season 2 update, and that A.C.S. was even just a few pixels below the level of the flag, then it wouldn't do anything for you. It wouldn't work. So any sort of slope or geometry could easily just make the A.C.S. not work at all. It appears with the Season 2 Reloaded update, they have fixed this now, so it should be working properly for you now. But let me know in those comments below if you have noticed any particular flags or situations where the A.C.S. is still not working for you. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to cover in today's video is the XRK Stalker Sniper Rifle. This one got a new attachment in the optic category, and this is the XRK Stalker Factory Iron Sight. So it's an actual proper iron sight for a sniper rifle now. And with this one, it will cut our aim down sight speed down to 530 milliseconds, and it also slightly improves our aim walking movement speed. And this is what it looks like. I think that's pretty nice. Definitely reminds me of the Ballista from Black Ops 2. And I think many of the snipers out there are going to be quite excited to see this one. If you want to unlock this iron sight, it will be available through Armory Unlocks. Although as I'm recording this video, I just saw a tweet from Call of Duty Updates that mentions they're investigating an issue causing the factory iron sight optic to not unlock properly. So it looks like as of right now, it's not working, but they're investigating and hopefully they'll have a fix for this sometime very soon. If you're interested in tracking that as well as any other bug fixes, I'm also going to leave a link to the Trello down below. That's often a great resource to see if you're running into any issues. Just check that out. And oftentimes you'll see that they're aware of that issue and they're either investigating or they already have a fix scheduled. And with that, that's pretty much it. There were a bunch of miscellaneous bug fixes here or there, but things that don't really affect the gameplay directly, like menu items, for instance, and stuff like that. Just things that I don't think are really worth reading out to you guys, because it's not going to have a real impact on how you experience the game, at least for the vast majority of people out there. But of course, if you want to check into all of those things, I will leave a link to the patch notes in the description down below. And also, like I said, stay tuned for tomorrow's video. That's going to be covering all of the weapon balancing that took place. And like I said, it was quite a long list. Now with that, this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Based on what you've seen so far with this Season 2 Reloaded update, how are you feeling about it? Are you generally happy with the things that they've added as well as fixed? Or were you expecting more out of this? Also, I am just curious to know if you guys run into any new issues with this update so far, since with most updates, oftentimes you see some new bugs pop up here or there. Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.